All right. Tim, stat, deep dive.
I gave up too soon, sorry.
Who have we got?
First one is Reece Walsh. Oh, fuck, of course it's Reece Walsh. Here we go. Play the tape from round 1, round 2, round 3. Take us away, Timbo.
763K. Loses the... I actually need to do some stats around him with and without Adam Reynolds. I'll do that for the Playbook listener podcast this week. But we'll likely, obviously, probably lose the goal kicking duties when Adam Reynolds returns, which is fine. Dating back to round 10, he has a 3-round average of 96 points. Only played a few games there. Excluding his 1-point game in 4 minutes against Penrith earlier this season, averaging 80.2 for the year.
Yep.
Good numbers. I think he averaged 80-odd last year. Broncos come home with a wet sail. I like him, Roo.
Yep. Look, without being boring, I sort of have my same argument on Reece Walsh. I know he's a fantastic player. I don't know if he's got those 140s, 150s in him. That's my thing with him. And I just think he has to do a lot to get to 100. But he tends to get there quite a bit.
Yeah. Sorry. I like him as a minimum month-long play heading into the Broncos bye, at which case Kalen Ponga becomes ripe for picking for their run home. So I've got him in my trade plans. Probably he's got the final 3 games after their bye at Suncorp as well.
Yep.
Ideally, buy, hold for season, but with trades in the bank, I'm thinking about playing a bit of fullback roulette and chasing those matchups for the run home. And, yeah, I like him.
There are some good matchups in there, no doubt about it. Dragons, Newcastle, Titans, Cows, Parramatta. That fast track up there.
Yeah.
And even like the away games, like one of them's on the Gold Coast, the other one's in Queensland. They're all pretty fast tracks.
They're great.
Yeah. Oh, I can understand why you're doing it. In fact, the Broncos play one game outside of Queensland to finish the season. They go to Newcastle
I know.
this weekend. Not bad. So you're on the Reece Walsh train?
I am. And I'm just backing my gut with this one. It's like numbers around Ponga or Turbo, they might look better, whatever it might be. I'm already a Tedesco owner. I think they'll fly home, so I'm gonna lock it in and go. Because if I watch him bang out big 100+ scores and I don't own, I'm just gonna say, well, why don't you back yourself? So here we are.
Now, there is one young lady in the crowd today who might be very interested in this one. We're going to talk Connor Watson. Now, Kat has 2 hookers. One of them is Appy Curacao. The other one is still Jeremy Marshall-King. She still needs to make a move there.
I do.
Well, I think I can sell her.
All right, I'm all ears.
Cat,
Talk to
C-Dub,
me.
Connor Watson, 677K, so still relatively affordable. Obviously, Origin tonight, barring injuries, I don't think he'll be playing too many minutes. Break even of 63, so I don't necessarily need to go this week. Well, you probably will, but he has a 66-point average as an 80-minute player since round 6. In his last 7 games, though, he's averaging 82.57 points with 62.57 in base. In that period, 1 try and 2 try assists. That's it. I
Wow.
reckon he's the number 1 hooker for the run home.
I think I'm about to just trade him in right now. It's pretty hard to disagree with those stats.
They are pretty damn impressive.
They're good numbers.
They are very good numbers.
And that's just with 1 try and 2 try assists. Damn.
I want him. I just, between getting Crichton back, getting Cleary, getting Walsh, there's only a certain amount of money that can go around, and that Brayley to Watson, there's just a fair bit of cash. Can get him, he's dual position as well, so I could get him at 2RF, but I like him in that hooking slot. Yeah, I think he's a great pickup.
I also like Connor Watson, and I like the Roosters for this reason, that I think round 27 could be fucking carnage, Timmy. They play South. They're not going to rest anyone. They're definitely going to be out there as well.
I don't buy into that like you do.
Oh, it's just always happened. They never rest players against South Sydney.
Do they always play him round 27?
Every single year, yeah. Yeah, it's always a thing that they play him in the final round. Has been for the last few years, and they haven't rested him.
Do a bit of
any
damage,
point.
actually,
Yeah.
that game.
Yeah, it can do a bit of damage. Yeah, I'm pretty confident on saying that.
Yeah, I'm just looking at like Tedesco last year missed round 26 against the Tigers. Did they maybe rest players around 26?
Yeah, they don't rest them against South. So
Okay.
yeah,
So you'll get the resting potential. Well,
We might get a resting before, yeah.
This year, though, they've got the bye in round 23, so maybe they look at that. They have the bye 19, obviously just had, and 23, so maybe they look at that and go, no, we're happy to have 4 games leading into finals because we've had 2 rests.
I reckon, as you said, they got 2 buys in the last 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon. And I mean, like, Spencer Lenius come off the bench for New South Wales. Connor's come off the bench for New South Wales. Like, it's not like they've... Stuart Lee's played 6.5 minutes. It's not like they're Origin boys. Teddy didn't even play Origin.
Yeah.
Manu's coming off a spell. Like, they're going to be pretty fresh, the Chooks.
harsh.
JWH has just had a 4-week spell.
Teddy played Origin 1.
What's that?
Teddy played Origin 1.
Sorry, Teddy played it. But, like, he's used to playing 3 games or whatever.
With those couple of buys, every chance they do play.
Yeah. Okay, our next player, Isaac Tungo. Let's do it. Well, what do we...
It's an update. It's an update of the stats I read out about 3 weeks ago, and it's the Cleary impact. 398k, 53-point average this season. Base of 34, excellent. Went back-to-back tons in round 2 and 3. Since then, he scored over 47 twice, 58 and 74. In that stretch of 12 games, 2 tries, no try assists. Very poor. However, in his 4 games with Nathan Cleary at halfback inside him this season, scores of 46, 145, 134. Those 2 games were with the sin bin. Injuries, and it was the Broncos and Eels from memory.
Yes. Yeah.
And they put back rows to centre and he's had a field day. Last season, though, 7 games to begin the year with Cleary, averaged 85.43, highs of 158, 124, 1 score under 53. Is he a viable option for the run home to free up cash? And I described it last night to the boys as your 6th CT dub. I think we're all going to have 5 gun CT dubs at this stage or pretty close to it. Your 7th CT dub is probably going to be enough. It's going to be a Jesse Arthurs or someone who's playing but cheap you don't want to play. You're probably going to have to play Tungo at some stage if you get him, but not often. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't mind it. If you need to free up cash and he's the guy that you can chuck in there and you have to, as you said, you're playing once or twice, once Penrith are at full strength, I'm okay with it.
They've got a good draw too.
He can still jag a 90 out of nowhere.
Well, he can jag a 140 out of nowhere. He's done it twice in 2 seasons.
Yeah. I'm okay. It's not something I'm looking at, but honestly, if Nath comes back and they have a good game this week and they look good even without the Origin players, I could fall on that sword very quickly.
I've got a big watch on him this week with Nathan, how it's looking.
Yeah, for sure. Welcome home. Tevita Pangai Jnr. Huge game on the weekend. Wayne Bennett is throwing that wand around and getting the job done with TPJ. What do you got for me?
51 minutes against the Rabbitohs on the weekend. Scored 90 points. There's now the injury to Ewan Aitken has seen Felice Kufusi play on the edge, who'd been playing in the middle. 51 minutes against the Bunnies, 15 runs. 14 of those runs were over 8 metres for 2 points. 3 offloads, 4 tackle busts, a try, a line break. They're elite attacking numbers for a front rower. He's 379k, dual front row 2RF. I really don't want to buy him. I probably won't buy him, but far out, it's a compelling case.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm heaps interested. I'm so far from a TPJ fan, but you give TPJ to Wayne Bennett, and I've always been confident he was going to do a job.
The question is minutes. Ewan didn't play many on the weekend either, did he?
No, he got injured pretty early. Yeah.
So he only played 19 minutes. So inflated, do we think, for TPJ? Do we have any idea what his minutes will be going forward?
No, we don't. But I also they need to win games of football. They're trying to play top 8 footy. He's the alpha in that pack now. Like, he is, realistically.
Put some respect on the name of Mark Nichols, please, mate.
But in all, if they're going to have a real crack this year, they're going to need TPJ to be offloading and to be terrorising. They're going to have to roll the dice.
To add into it, Trey Fuller named on the bench.
Yeah, it's
so they've been
great.
running a 4-forward bench for the majority of the season. Now they've got Trey Fuller there.
You also lose Max Plath as a middle forward for the next few weeks. I don't see how he doesn't get minutes. I'm half convincing myself into going fucking TPJ. What is he? 390k.
379. I know.
Yeah, that's interesting. something to
The
think
other
about.
thing is, even if 50 isn't his regular minutes and he does play 35, 40 or something and becomes your third front rower, it's not the end of the world. Like, he still makes a bit of cash, scores well enough. Like, he'll jag attacking stats in games, a bit Terrell May-ish, but even more explosive. Yeah.
What is he? 375k.
Can you get him up on your screen and stop asking me?
Well, no, because I'm looking at my team to see if I could maybe jig something here.
379.
379. Interesting. Okay. Something to consider. All right. Our next player on our deep dive is Matty Burton. What do you got for me?
539k, break even of 48, very cheap. Reason for that, a few games back in the wet against the Roosters, they were soundly beaten and he scored 16 points playing centre for that game. Still don't understand why he played centre, but here we are.
That was wild.
Yeah, outside of that game, since round 4, he's averaged 78.18. He's got a low score in that period of 39 points and a second lowest of 63. Very cheap, dual 5'8" halfback. He looks a good buy to me. Doggies, no buys to come, soft draw home.
What about his scores from round 6 to round 12? Is this the most consistent 6-week period of all time? 79, 80, 73, 80, 80, 81. 5 out of 6 scores that range from 79 to 81. That's insane.
It is.
Not for me, but I can understand people looking at him.
Draw to come, Cowboys, Broncos, Raiders, Dragons, Dolphins, Warriors, Seagulls, Cowboys. Great draw. Why aren't you keen, mate?
I just don't think they are, like, he's scoring well there for sure, but I don't think Canterbury are as reliant on him as what they used to be. And I just think for what I have to spend there on the 5'8" position, I would rather use that trade in another position where I think I can get a guy that can go 100 plus in any given week.
He's an interesting one because my gut says the same, Roo. I'm just like, the Doggies are a very defence-oriented team. He's not always the main guy for them. He obviously has a big role.
Which is great for Canterbury, but
great for the Dogs, but Supercoach. But at the same time, it's been like that since round 4, and he's still banged out that 74-point average since. So it's like you're picking up at a bargain rate. The numbers say that it doesn't really matter. He's going to score well. But my gut says the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be stunned to see some 30s in there on the run home.
Well, I mean, mate, like playing devil's advocate, you look over the last 4 weeks, he's gone 39, 16, 63, 71. Those 2 games that went to Golden Point, he got, 5 extra points from kicking a field goal in overtime.
Yeah.
You know, that 63 turns into a 55. I don't know. He's not for me, but we know what he can do.
Even at some of his scores, like he had a 147 against the Roosters this season. That was the Dom Young send-off game, but I think he did some serious damage in that before he was sent off. 79 against the Storm, down at Amy Park in Melbourne. 80 against the Panthers in Penrith. Like, he's scoring well against pretty matchup proof, and then goes and scores 39 against the Eels. Makes sense of that. Anyway.
Yeah, I just the guys I want to bring in from now on are guys that I think can go 100 plus on any given week.
Yep.
They're the guys I want to target. So not for me.